Okay, the story goes like this. Yesterday, Thursday, I think it was the 27th, maybe 28th of August, it was like this when I went in. And it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Got inside, got comfortable. Bam! It's like somebody opened the gates of hell. It started pouring rain. I mean, so bad. At first it got dark. Well, that's because there was a tornado nearby. And then the rain. The rain was so bad. How bad was it? It was coming down so hard that I probably wouldn't have been able to see that piece of wood right there, that tree. I mean, it was that bad. It was really that bad. And it wasn't just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It went on for like an hour or more. I mean, it was really coming down hard. Well, it'll look awful funny going up. So I hope it keeps up so it doesn't come down. Figure that one out. Anyhow, it was really, really bad. And if you went out in it, you actually got hurt because it was banging against you so hard. But it finally let up about an hour or better to where it was just like a thunderstorm rain. So it was still raining like hell, but at least you were able to see. Now your wipers may not have kept up with it, but at least I was able to see, you know, more than 50 to 70 feet. And that went on until about 7 o'clock. And meanwhile, we were put on hold. They didn't want anybody out there. You know, the less that were out there, the better at this point, because there's nothing that nobody could have done. You know, I mean, there was trees coming down. There were more trees, wires, and poles down across roads, on roofs of houses, through the houses, that there were more roads that were blocked off than there were roads to travel on. You know, it was getting to a point to where they had to start mapping out the roads, because if they had to get somewhere in a hurry, they may not have been able to just go down and go here. They may have to go, you know, all this kind of stuff, which also added to any problems, because you don't know if something came down there and hasn't been reported yet or not. It was that bad. 99.3% of the town was out of power. And it's not a small town. It's a small community, but it's not a small town by no means. The National Guard was sent down to help clear the trees and open the roads up and get the trees cleared so that the UI, or the public utilities, can get things going. We have Eversource here. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they just drag ass. And I've seen them drag ass, so I know. And so I'm sure, though, with the National Guards down here, they were going to do everything they could to keep up with them and not show them how, well, we don't work that fast because we get overtime. And then they also, the state sent down 2 rescue teams. It's just in case they had to start rescuing people and they were short, or it was something that the fire department didn't have equipment to do, or whatever the case may be. They sent down 2 rescue teams, one for this town and one for the next town over. The next town over wasn't too bad, is where they didn't need the National Guard. This town happened to have gotten hit the hardest in the whole state, and that's the only reason why we ended up with the National Guards. Now they're saying 50% of the power is restored. Okay, then they're saying the other 50% possibly by Saturday. Well, that's tomorrow. So we deal with it. Now, we're not in a big inconvenience. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I put the antenna up that I bought from Danny. I do have to twist it a little bit, or find a program that'll give me the the readings of the stations and what direction they're in. And I remember there was a program out there, so I got to find that. And then I can go up and turn the antenna so I can get a little bit better. We're getting like 5 or 6 stations right now. But I just stuck it up there, you know, and just headed towards an empty space, you know, an empty spot where there's, you know, there's no trees. So I know it's not facing anywhere where there's any stations. But we're getting 5 or 6 of them. 2 Spanish, 1 religion, 2 shop at home, and I think the other one's a country western, Grit, I think it's called. Oh, wait a minute, we're also getting another one called Crime, which sucks, completely sucks. Now, the clearest pictures, the cleanest pictures, are the Spanish and the home shopping. The other ones are clean, they're clear, but every now and then they pixelate. So I got to move the antenna. The antenna has the means of doing this job. I just got to find the location for it. And like I say, so we have some TV. However, we have the generator, which is running the house and out here, because earlier I was using it. I turned the generator off for a few minutes. I just changed the oil on it, stuff like that. And I just went and picked up another 60 gallons of gas. 30 gallons of gas. All right, so, luckily it was right around the corner. They had gas over there. They had not gas, but they had electricity, therefore they had gas. I was surprised, to be honest with you. But at that point, we have a generator, so that takes care of the house and out here. I mean, I was using the table saw and the grinder, and the computers were going, the radios. Well, the radios and everything work on 12 volts, so they're all working off the solar. But, and then I have the mobile internet, which I just brought it in the house. And I believe I showed that to you. It's in the house right now, so I don't have it out here to show you. But it's about the size of 2 decks of cards, side by side. You know, so it's about a 4x4 by maybe an inch. And it runs off of battery. And it'll run some time off of the battery. So if I just wanted to, say, throw it in my pocket, it's fine. It'll work. Or you just charge it up with a USB, which means you can plug it into your computer for the power, or use a cellular phone charger to plug it in. But it does have its own cable, but it does plug into a cellular phone charger. So, so I just have it plugged into the wall on a cellular phone charger in the living room, and the wife and I have internet, you know, so we can watch videos and movies and things like that, you know, YouTube or whatever, Netflix, you know, because we do have that going. And I'm going to tell you something. It cost us $10 a month to have it. Now the unit, I paid cash for it. You can buy it on, you know, time. And the unit I bought has the 5G upgradable, so just a little program, and it's up there. And I believe it was 150 bucks. So, but once you're through to 150, either on monthly payments or cash, whichever way you want to pay for it, it's costing us $10 a month to use it. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing slow about it. It works fine. You are somewhat limited per month, but the limitation is so high that we've running it for 4 days at a time. Well, the last time we had the storm, I ran it, the wife and I, for 4 days, mainly at night, but watching movies, watching YouTube. I was commenting on YouTube, you know, and for the 4 days, I only used up something like, I think it was 12 or 16%. Now, that's really not bad. And last night when I checked it, well, actually this morning when I checked it, we used up 5%. Again, not bad. Now, what happens once you get over your usage plan, it still works, just that it slows down a little bit. You may not be able to watch videos, but you can do emails, and you can do, you know, internet surfing, but it's just a little slow. But I've never had it where I used up that much. So to me, it was worth $10 a month. That's through AT&T, by the way. And not that I'm pushing AT&T, because they all suck. You know, at that point, it works fine. So even though we're inconvenienced, you know, like last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, just before I'm dozing off to fall asleep, I said, let me go out there and fill the generator up. You know, so I went out and I filled the generator up, because we leave it running 24/7. This is the first time I turned it off, but I just wanted to get oil change. So, but for the most part, it's a 24/7 thing. And, you know, we may turn it off for 10 minutes here and there, maybe. But you know what happens? When you turn it off, your freezer and everything starts to thaw. And then when you turn it back on, everything wants to kick in again to catch up to where it was. So sometimes it really isn't worth it. So you just let it run, you know, and you know, let it go. So, but I came out here about 9:30 or so in the morning, 10 o'clock, and to check it. And again, I filled it at 1 o'clock in the morning, and at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, it was still on a little over a quarter, not quite a third. So it was still had a couple hours on it with no problem. So it seems to be burning actually better. So we're averaging, I'm going to say, if I'm working it hard, about a gallon an hour. If not, you know, naturally it's less. So, but other than the inconvenience of going to get gas and coming out and fill it up every 5, 6, 7 hours, you know, and not having TV other than those few channels, you know, it's just we're getting by. It's not too bad. We're not going to lose anything in the freezer. But I am thinking about, I really am. I also have the little one out there. So if I needed it, just like, for instance, if this one crapped out, the one that's in the shed over here, the 2300, if I needed to plug in the freezer and the refrigerator and a light in the room or something, and our 2 laptops, that would run it without a problem. But I'm really thinking of getting a bigger one than I have over here. I got a 10,000 out there now. I'm thinking about jumping up to maybe a 14 and having it wired, not wired, but pumped right into the natural gas. So this way I don't have to keep running to the station and spending, you know, 60 and 80 bucks, you know, like 3 times a week or something. So, because what I got out there now, 1, 2, I can probably get through until today's Friday afternoon, and I just filled it. And I got 30 gallons out there, so that's going to give me another one for tonight, and then another 1.5 tomorrow. So I could probably get through until Sunday with it, and then back to another $60 worth of fuel. So I can actually have it tied right into the gas main, natural gas, and that's what I'm thinking of possibly doing. I'm going to price them out, because I feel this winter is going to be worse. Because my thought on it is, with all the storms that we've had, you know, and the trees coming down, and the trees that came down this time, a lot of those were trees that were weakened by the storm we had 2 weeks ago, that tropical storm that came up, because that took down a lot as well. We were without power for 4 days. And but that didn't take out nearly as bad as it did this time, because this time, not only more trees, but the trees that were weakened, and the poles that were weakened, and the wires that were weakened last time, that were ready to come down but didn't, they all came down this time. So I'm thinking this winter it's going to be just as bad, because once the wind and the sleet and the rain and the hail and the ice on the wires and all that kind of crap, whatever trees were weakened because of these past two storms are going to be coming down. So this winter is going to be another nightmare. So I'm going to prepare for it. So I'm thinking about natural gas. Plus, it would be good for the wife, because she wouldn't have to worry about filling up the fuel if I was out, for instance. Now, naturally, I would always be home for her if she needed me. But she's also the type that doesn't want to bother me. So I don't know if she's going to need me or not. So to have one that's tied in, that'll automatically start. And it starts, I believe, every week and runs for like a half an hour or something. I don't remember exactly how it works, but it's like a maintenance check. So, and then that's there. And then I'll still keep this one, and I'll just bring it out into the shed back here, one of the power sheds, and I'll tie it into this one direct. And if I need to put power either direction, I'll have a switch and a breaker. So if I need to grab power from the house, I can flip it. If I need to send power to the house, I can flip it. I want to get a couple of antennas up, so I have a switch, so I can switch the antennas into an omnidirectional for TV. And I may even, I don't know, but another $10 a month, maybe just for the winter, grab another one of these mobile internet things. So we have two of them going. So it's something how we get what's the word, addicted to certain things that our parents and grandparents never had them. I mean, I remember the first color TV, and then the one that was black and white and had the little beauty ring around it that lit up, stuff like that. But we got so addicted and dependent upon the cell phones, the smartphones, the internet, the tube, the TV, when we don't have it, it's like, oh God, what do we do? So. But anyway, that's about it. So I'm going to cut this short in a minute, but I figure I'll show you the yard real quick. And then I'm going to start the generator, go in and relax for the rest of the day. But we took all that down over there, the house, the playhouse for the boys, and the other little stand that was over there. So that's all down. I tore into that big pile of crap wood and dirt and started spreading that around, so now I can use that to help fill some over there and get rid of some of those weeds. Some of the wood I'm going to bring over here that we're going to end up cutting up in a couple of months for the winter, and we got that done. Then I took some wood that was also over there in the playhouse and brought it over here, and then the old generator shack that I put together real quick for the generator, and then I left it there. So now it was time to take it apart, and I'm going to put a new one in. But there's a lot of good wood there, believe it or not, for scrap things that I may want to do. So I'm going to kind of go through it, and then whatever's left, I'll see what goes on. I can either bury it over on the other property, and once it rots, the ground will sink in, throw a little more dirt over it, and I'll be all set, because there really isn't anything there that's going to pollute the earth. So it's latex paint, so, and it's wood. So, so I got to clean that pile up, and then I got to finish this one. I'm going to try to get that finished tomorrow, and I'll take you around the other side later, or tomorrow, and I'll let you see what's going on over there. I did do some recording, but we'll see what happens. Oh, and there's a spider. You're not gonna see him. All right, I'm shutting down.